So the expiration date issue around the self-test is very interesting.
Interesting and confusing. Did you know that COVID tests expire, but the date on your test is likely no longer accurate?
Katu's Genevieve Rayom is live in Southwest Portland with the story. Genevieve, many of the tests the Biden administration sent out are now expiring.
Yeah, and this is important to know because Omicron 2.0 is circulating throughout this community. And with it expected to peak in a matter of weeks, these tests are going to be very useful for a lot of people. This is one of those tests that I got from the Biden administration. And if you look on the back, it says it's set to expire on June 23rd, but that's not totally true. When you open the fridge to look for a snack, you probably check the expiration dates. You may also be surprised to learn that beauty products have a best by. But did you know that COVID tests have a shelf life too? This Binax Now box says the COVID shelf test expired April 30th. But don't trash it. It's actually good until the end of July, potentially longer. In order to get these tests onto shelves quickly, product makers had to strike a deal.
The special arrangement they made with the FDA for at least some of these brands is that they would put what's considered sort of a tentative expiration date, or actually some of them have no expiration date.
Dr. Loeffler, the deputy health officer for Multnomah County, says companies continue to test the efficacy of the products in the lab.
And they're saying, yep, they still work, they still work, they still work.
As time passes, they see the initial shelf life was too short.
To know that a test could be sitting on your shelf for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and still be effective. But if the companies had waited that long to test their kits, they wouldn't have been able to get them to market in time.
To track your test expiration, the FDA put a list of updated best buy dates you can check online.
I don't think there's going to be any significant expiration date.
Dr. Loeffler says it's likely the expirations will continue to get pushed back.
This test that I got in the mail, so it says use by June 23rd, 2022, and I go online and then that extends it another 3 months. So is it possible that 3 months will just keep getting extended if the tests still work in the labs?
Exactly. That's in fact what we expect to happen.
They are, Deb and Steve. They say it's all hands on deck to hire drivers. Now, we talked to TriMet tonight to get your questions answered.
We want to be really upfront with our riders. We apologize for the inconvenience.
It's an attempt for transparency. TriMet admits it's falling behind. With driver attrition outpacing hiring, TriMet says they need more than 300 drivers right now to get back up to speed, which means trips are getting canceled and buses are late.
I think we can all understand and relate to what it feels like to be late to work, school, or, a meeting or appointment. That being said, we'd like to let riders know that we are doing everything possible to hire more operators.
That push offering new drivers a little more than $25 an hour, plus a $7,500 hiring bonus. Some are critical of the offer, saying that it's not a livable wage in Portland. We took a closer look and found it's not. The hourly wage at TriMet comes out to about $52,000 a year. This data from May shows a single person needs to make $58,000 a year to afford a studio apartment in Portland, $78,000 if you want a one-bedroom. TriMet countered, saying the initial offer is just that.
You will get $25,24 to start, but starting with your 19th month of employment, after this first year and a half, you will begin to receive guaranteed pay raises. By the 35th month of employment, all TriMet bus operators are guaranteed to earn at least $68,000 a year without overtime.
TriMet says they've made other adjustments, like reducing the number of years for a clean driving record from 10 years to 3 years. In the meantime, it's little consolation to current riders.
A lot of people rely on public transit, not just commuters, but people who have disabilities who need to get around and so on, medical issues. What is TriMet doing for those folks?
Well, unfortunately, people use transit for all different kinds of reasons. Like you said, whether it's going to work or school or an appointment, if it's because they don't have a car or can't drive a car. Like I said, we are doing everything possible to fill these runs.
It was just devastating to read something about this, especially just around the corner from where we live.
Shock and sadness from leaders and families in Gresham tonight after police say a young mother shot and killed her 2 children then herself. Police say they found the bodies of 31-year-old Ashley Palmer and her 6 and 8-year-old children in their apartment on Monday. Good evening. Thanks a lot for joining us, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. For more on this developing story, we go live to K2's Eric Mock. And Eric, you've been talking to people there as well as Gresham's state representative.
Yeah, they tell me out here that they feel like this was a mental health crisis that turned extremely violent. And when I spoke with Representative Ricky Ruiz, he tells me he's urging people to turn to mental health resources if they're having a crisis rather than turning to violence.
Mental health is one of those things where we can't visibly see.
We spoke with Oregon State Representative Ricky Ruiz over Zoom. He says when he heard about the murder-suicide event, he had to pull over and talk with his family. Representative Ruiz said this happened just around the corner from where he and his family live in Gresham, and he wants people there to understand that if they're going through a mental health crisis, that there are people and resources they can use before they harm themselves or others. That's why he posted links to mental health resources on his Facebook page.
I just want folks that follow our social media to know that there's help out there for folks who are going through difficult situations, right? And no matter how minimal it is, or how difficult it could be, there's help for any sort of mental health crisis.
From court documents, we learned Ashley Palmer was involved in a lengthy custody battle over her kids with her ex-spouse. In those documents, her former partner alleged she even threatened to take custody away from them if they didn't do what she wanted. Now, Representative Ruiz, and we actually have on our website many mental health links and resources, including a text crisis line, which you can text, and that is 741-741. If you text that number and message the word home, they can give you support anytime, night or day.